Guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome back to the World Great Grandmasters Beach Shoulder Butt Club Championships. Final game of the second pool play stage coming up. We have, once again, back on the live stream fields in the grey jerseys from France, Les Jets. And from Japan, wearing the very, let's go with fashionable pint jerseys, we have the Bears. First pool's in about 9 minutes time, so plenty of time to go to the beachfront bars and grab yourself a glass of something nice.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and fund our work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
We are Hive Ultimate, a group of players and coaches from all over the world working together to progress the next generation of Ultimate strategy. We've helped top teams win world championships and new teams introduce the sport in a fun and inclusive way. Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn more about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. ULTI League. ULTILeague.net. Nobisco Electric, become a member.
All right. A little something special for the WGGBMUCC. It's a lyrical sculpture in the sand that I carve. This is Flash on the mic, now on the Algarve. From 40 to 60, we are on the attack. If I can just get some vitamin I from my back. Foot on the line, yeah, I'm ready to go. Or did I just pull a muscle? Hold on for a moment. Play it cool, just act like I'm young. Got flicks on my wrist and lyrics on my tongue. 20 more, 10 more years left to go. Tricks from the past and a buttery flow. A little slow off the start, I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. I got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Yeah, I got some dodgy knees. Disc in my hand and the sun in the sky. My dad bod goes jiggle and my hucks they fly. The spirits are rising like a disc on the breeze, going miles out of bounds to the Portuguese seas. I played a point, yeah, I need a sub and a good long soak in an XL tub. Don't need to run anymore, I'm one of 14 handlers. Happy Gilmore this disc like we're all Adam Sandlers. I'm slow off the start, I like to call it brisk. The sunshine glints on my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. We got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Alright, let's finish this off. My 6'2" still works in the bar. I can see from miles. Got drinks on my radar. Portimão party is the place we flee for the friends we see in these great memories. Yeah, I feel the spirit as I pull every sinew. Shatter my knees, yet we're gonna continue. Take this hand, better yet carry me from the beach to the bar, better yet to the sea. I'm slow off the start. I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got none of the pivots, but all of the throws.
Welcome back to Portimão. It's the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2022. And we have our final stages of power pool play, bringing you action for Les Jets from France versus Beers from Japan. Yes, indeed, we are wrapping it up here. Pool H in front of us, but we have two that are all now decided. The top end of the championship brackets will be Young Legends Team Finland, Hurt and Notsu O coming out of the earlier rounds here on the sands today. But in front of us, we're playing for either a chance at the championship or the chance to take the beer division, as Courier Islands lovingly referred to it after their match this morning. Benji Rees alongside myself, Hannah Pendlebury, on the call today. And Benji, how are we feeling about these two?
I'm really excited for both of these sides. As you mentioned, there's a chance to make their way into the top 8, or even if they don't make it there, pick yourselves up again and see if you can win the Ninals, as they're also called, the old championship. Whatever you want to go for.
The championship.
Yeah, I know, I like that one. Both of these sides bringing losses to man down, 10-4 for Jets and 11-5 for Beers, and victories over pushing Daisies, 11-4 for Beers and 11-5 for Jets, whereas the winner going into that top 8, loser into bottom 8, and according to those previous results, it feels like we've got two pretty evenly matched teams, so we should be on for a nice, tight, close game.
Well, that's what we're hoping for. It is we've had some big old air between the scorelines on some of the pitches here, but hopefully it can be Les Jets taking off or Beers finishing in record time, potentially. These 45-minute long games do breeze past quite quickly. So will be played to a score cap of 13. Of course, as we see the hand slaps between the two teams. I like these beers jersey, Benjamin.
Well, because it just looks like a beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Clues in the name.
I mean, to the surprise of literally nobody, I'm on board with them as well.
Indeed, we are fond of a drink or two here on the live stream, whether it's alcoholic or non. Of course, now I'm a real big fan, Benji, of the rise of the non-alcoholic beer. It's still giving you that isotonic, hoppy feeling, but without any sort of, you know, anything else getting in your way of the enjoyment of that refreshment.
Yeah. Please drink responsibly, everyone. I mean, we know the rules. I must admit, actually, these cocktail in a bottles have been very popular with the team this week.
Indeed. What's your cocktail of choice, Benji?
Long Island iced tea.
Oh, that's code for bartender get me drunk.
Yeah, why do you think I like it? I mean, it's the taste. It's definitely the taste.
It is. Well, it definitely doesn't taste like you're drinking cocktail. Personally, I'm a fan of a mojito myself.
Yeah, I could see that.
Especially on the beach.
You do strike me as someone, you know, here with a mojito, or maybe a frozen margarita.
Oh, well, we tried that on one of the beach bars earlier on when we were playing the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships, and it ended up being a little bit sloshy by the time it made its way to our commentary booth. But nothing sloshy about the play in front of us as Beers come out on offense. High reaching pass to Yamamoto. Around to Noda. Lots of poaching off at the moment from Leggett. A high release is going to have to be well tracked down, and it is scooped up from in front of the sand. Dorf pops up one over the top. Oh, and look at that block rising into the air. Le Recholec gets the disc for Leggett.
They did really well taking advantage of whether it was some miscommunications or intentional poaches. They hit those open players really well, but when they got in the red zone and that space got compressed, tried to get cheeky with that one over the top.
Well, perhaps a bit too hasty, but Rosne resets. We've seen some real calm movement. Oh, but look at that hand block, saucy stuff. Yahima punches forward. Oh, is that a push pass? It looks like a push pass, but either way, the first one on the board for Jets. Not Jets, the Bears even.
Is that the double happiness, the quadruple happiness? Because depending on which way you're looking at it, you could credit either Dorf or Yajima with the D, and one of them got the assist and one of them got the score, so...
Ah, yeah, I'm going to go for quad happiness.
The quadruple happiness, sure.
If you don't have enough hands, maybe you got to use your feet to signal it, as we see another look at that huge redemption from Rick Dorf.
Yeah, I thought that was overthrown, but he does really well to recover, get into position. There's the D from Lurholek. Reading the eyes well.
Well, no stranger to the sand is Richard Dorf. In fact, played on the borderline team back in 2018 at Great Grandmasters Beach.
Yeah, the first running of this tournament. I think that would have been in Sardinia as well.
Also appears on the roster for Wreckage. I love these beach-themed, nautical-type team names. Good pun names. But it's definitely starting to get warmer here in Portimão. The wind just dropping. Oh, but I talk about drops. That's a big one for Cyril Loiseau, giving a short field opportunity for Beers. Stepping up to the Yoki is Sunuchi Yoda. Or Noda even. Lost for options. Going to have to just chuck it and hope perhaps. Oh, but that's a lovely lead reset to Dorf. Oh, slightly uncomfortable on the relief and just dashing into the sand. Tori Yajima. Tesoro. Cesar puts a lead one for Alexis Bolio, but Bolo unable to connect.
Yeah, I just don't think he was expecting that one. I like the idea of the lead pass, but it was really zipped. So he would have had to be alert to bring it in.
It's got to shave the edge off of that one a little bit. I'm enjoying how players are marking out where the disc should come in on the sand potentially, or if they just drag the sand. Nice one over the top to Jibna. High leading pass into space. That is beautiful, but the defender is all over it. Bolo Gets a little bit of body on Kubo, but didn't have quite the read.
Yeah, I think the key there is that he suckered him into getting too far underneath the disc, and that meant that, as you say, there might have been a little bit of bumping underneath, but even if there wasn't, it's really difficult to adjust backwards at that late stage.
So can they do it on the third asking? Oh no, they cannot. Huge defense from the Beers again. Chucking it across the sky, but Cesar Tesoro
Just about.
nearly got undone there.
It's been a frantic and frenetic start to this game, Hanny.
It really has. After that one turn apiece on the initial point. This is a bit of a grinder, but we expected this, a tussle between these two sides. Who will go to Ninals and who will advance with a shot at a gold? Well, that's a shot for goal, but a little bit of a stumble underneath it. You can see him looking around to try and reposition himself. Jan Corti just falls into the sand eventually.
He's never really got sight of the disc. You could see him desperately looking over both shoulders, trying as he could to pinpoint that pink Euro disc out. But by the time he saw it, it was too little too late.
Yeah, you could see him almost, hear him in the internal monologue saying, where is it, where is it? As we see a redemption from Kubo to keep the disc alive. Noda to Doff. Lovely lead to Yajima, but throws almost directly into the hands of Jacques Cochet. You could see him trying to go over the top, but it didn't put enough spin on the disc. Cesaro takes Bolo. A high one's going to escape the paws of Cyril Loiseau. That's his second drop at this point. 9
turnovers so far at this point. And yet it doesn't feel like it's been a really long attritional grind, because it's very much, we'll get there, we'll pick it up and we'll go. Everything's been played at a very high tempo.
Noda with the hammer over the top into the space. Not quite advancing over the tape for Yajima. Oh, but the hand block! Oh my goodness, tell you what, Benji, this is a game of defense so far. Chevalier looking around for options. Loiseau pops. Nice redemption for Corti. Just see that shoulder shimmy shake for Bolo on the far side. Tesoro. Cochet. Nobody further deep than the disc. Loiseau. Oh, it's going to be a big release from the number 5. Oh, but turning all the way around like a pirouetting ballet dancer, and cannot claim the goal.
Very French arms out there from Boileau. Like, how? I thought it was good. Just maybe, again, he tries to come a little bit shorter and gets too far underneath it. That was that hammer not quite in, and in the short space, just a little slap down.
Well, this point continueth. Are we going to get a timeout call potentially?
I did wonder that.
Well, Sunichi Yoda, no, he's going to play it straight away to Dorf. Oh, reaching grab for Yajima. Has the separation for Dorf in the deep space. Doesn't like it, but throws it eventually. Oh my goodness, that is beautiful. And at long last, we end that marathon point. Dorf claiming the goal.
Only the 11 turnovers at that point. But you do see this, especially in the short games, those points do drag on a little bit. If you are the team that's able to pull it out, it provides such a mental boost, I think.
And it goes in the favour of the defence. As you say, that little boost, Benji, really some momentum generation. And I finally figured out what these sort of dragged bits through the sand on the sideline. You just catch a glimpse of it. Yeah, the brick marks.
It makes a lot of sense. You see there, Kubo, he's thinking about this deep shot. Yes, no. You can almost see the gears turning in the head, working out which way he wants to flip the switch. And in the end, he unleashes it. And Dorf catches a goal to go with his assist on the first point as well. Beers taking a 2-0 lead.
And momentum generated off of that for sure. These two teams pretty well matched for levels of personnel. We've seen big differences in the roster size. The maximum is, of course, 20, minimum 10.
I feel like you'd be brave to take 10 to any beach tournament, but especially at Great Grandmasters age.
Well, it gives you a full line of subs. 5-a-side, of course.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd want more than that at beach.
Depends how fit you are. Some of the teams out here who are speech specialists.
I mean, the first year I went to Paganello, our team ended up playing at Ironman. Not intentionally, I think, but...
ouch.
Yeah, they won Spirit in the end as well, which, I mean, you know what? Tracks.
A pity vote, perhaps. How positive and attitude and self-control if you only have the 5 of you, but that's a big effort from Leggett to try and redeem. A call on the play. Not sure exactly what. There you go. Signal of foul now from the throwers. Looks like that's going to be accepted immediately. So back into the paws of Jean-Pierre Rab. Going to have to squeeze out that reset deep into the backfield for Chevalier. Punch through to Cochet. Sorry, that's Coltman, Clayton Coltman. Thought it was a 9 for a minute. This is good pace now, Chevalier. Perhaps some of the D-line coming out after that really long offensive point for Leggett. Swinging around to Coltman. The American pickup who played on grass with this Leggett team.
Yeah, the World Masters Ultimate Club Championships in Limerick back in July.
Has played for too many clubs to list. Chevalier now, swinging.
I guess we probably do have a character limit to some of those questions.
I don't believe we do, Benji, but it would certainly take up a lot of space on our screen for our little player surveys, helping us do as a part of our research. Chevalier with a lovely lead pass, though, and that is going to be good for Leggett to finally pop one onto the scoreboard.
Frédéric Mallet with the score. It's not been the cleanest start to the game, I think, from either side, but especially from Jets. So a nice clean hold would be exactly what they were looking for.
Well, at long last, we get something clean from this game. After that, was it 8 turnover point?
11.
11 turnover point, goodness. Well,
Yeah.
Mallet had a couple of moments of frustration and errors in their last stream game for Leggett yesterday. Nice to see him coming out on better form this morning, perhaps having had a little bit extra breakfast or a bit less, perhaps. A little thumbs up there from Beers. That's Ezra Levine, who was introduced to the sport by some friends and immediately fell in love. The non-profit investor. Says hello to his 2 dogs, who I'm sure are watching the stream, watching the Frisbees, glued. Have you ever watched dog TV on YouTube, Benji?
No, is this just dogs watching TV?
No, it's TV for dogs. Very relaxing. Although I'd highly recommend, of course, watching all of the back footage of ULTI.TV on YouTube, free to watch, on demand and live, before you go over to watching Dog TV.
Well, you could dual screen it.
We just put us on mute and listen to the calming sounds of birds as a beautiful pass smoothly sails through the sky into the arms of Toru Yajima.
Lovely deep put. I think that's something that the Bears are going to have to, Jets are going to have to adjust for, excuse me, is that they've seen now that Kubo has an arm, and he's not shy of putting it deep on occasion. Dorf was the target last time. This time it's Toru Yajima getting his 2nd goal along with a block.
Well, I can't help but feel, Benji, these two teams now vibing off each other's energy after we saw that 2 turnover first point, 11 turnover second. A clean hold from Leggett inspires a bit of magic for the Bears, or possibly, dare we say it, it might be that the teams are a wee bit gassed after that marathon. But either way, Bears retain their lead, in charge of this game, up that 1 break, 3-1.
You know how sometimes you see certain players and certain teams play and it puts a song in your head?
Yes.
So at the previous championships we had Borderline, so obviously I had Madonna in my head all week. This time I've not been able to get rid of Beer by Real Big Fish.
Oh, what an absolute tune.
I know. And it's just going to go round and round, and they're a proper earworm that's lodged itself into my brain.
Well, that was the theme of our sports show that we used to run at university back in the days of my early broadcasting career. So I'm now going to have that stuck in my head. Thanks.
There's worse songs to get stuck in there.
I'm not mad. I'm not even slightly mad. And Cesar Tessero lines that one up in his sights, but it's going to be his teammate redeeming him on the other side. Yancotti, I believe, grabbing that score and reeling it in for Leggett. That is a hold for them.
Another clean hold, but not the cleanest of clean holds. I was going to say I'm pretty sure now. I am 100% sure that Cotil was not the intended target when Ronan Hlorolek put that one up, but I don't think he really cares that much. This 26 eventually finds 27 for the score. It's just good hustle there from Jan Cotil. He dishes it off, takes off deep. He sees that this throw's got a lot of outside-in edge on it and is blading towards that far side of the end zone. The defender and the receiver both far away from it. And although Meredith tries to change and adjust his line, he's not going to get there in time. Jan Cotil makes it 2-3.
Yeah, Meredith known for his limping round the field.
I mean, it is great Grandmasters, I guess. It's probably not the only one.
Well, to be honest, Benji, you know, people say all sorts of things about players and athletes that are, you know, over the age of at least 45 if you're female matching and 48 if you're male matching. But in this loose mixed division, of course, which is lovely to see, you know, the ability for both genders, all genders even, to come out and represent.
Yeah, I think that definitely seen some various player surveys saying I've had some knee replacements, hip replacements, whatever, so...
But to be honest, I'm impressed at the level of athleticism that's being displayed. There are some real stalwart athletes out here. So, you know, we said it might not be as high octane, but the power that these athletes have is actually very impressive.
And even if they're not, you know, as fluid and as mobile as they once were, doesn't mean that they're not going to continue to plough and battle on through the injuries.
Absolutely. And many of them also playing at the seniors level. Of course, we have some gold medalists on Rainbow Warriors, so I can't help but think about how good they are on this surface. But right now, it's Leggett with disc in hand, eyeing up that next point. Could they break? No, they can't. Overshooting Frédéric Mallet in the far sideline.
You see what Dion Noir's looking at because, as you mentioned, Mallet has snuck his way beyond the back of that defense. Was hoping to try and get the bookends there as he palms that one away. But the throw from Dion Noir is just too far.
Yeah, a squandered opportunity there to put us back on serve for Leggett, trailing that one break. But bringing it back into play is Noda. Low break inside shot. And they continue the movement across the field. A little bit of cluster through there, but Tajima powering back Noda now. Oh, and it's a huge block from Clayton Coltman.
And that's not a question of there was a turnover and also maybe you got a touch on it. No, that's a full-on block that Coltman has ripped away. Huge palm laying out from behind and also not really getting any contact with Dorf.
Look at him fly through the air on this.
That is a sensational bid. That's exactly how you teach it.
My favourite thing was him ripping off his sweatband and throwing it on the sideline afterwards, perhaps a bit too covered in this slightly damp sand from yesterday's rain.
Swaggerlicious.
Now, Frédéric Mallet, far sideline. Coltman has a think about it. Oh, and that's definitely a big chunk of ham, blocking the hammer, the height difference. Richard Dorf taking advantage.
And Dorf gets his own back on Coltman. I think you can see that Coltman's looked into Mallet downfield, and Dorf has got such a long wingspan that as soon as those hands are up, there's no way for Coltman to get it past.
Oh my goodness, look at the separation on the receiver there. Toru Yajima off to the races, leaving Cyril Loiseau for dust.
It's another assist for Kazuyuki Kubo. And again, it's that flick bomb. Here was the block. Coltman going for the hammer. And Dorf thoroughly putting the bars up and blocking that one. And then Kubo initiates underneath, looks downfield. You can see that step forward, generating that forward momentum. Just pings this one Loiseau is left in the dust, and Yajima gets his 3rd goal of the game.
I really enjoyed how all of the players around this arena pitch just stopped to watch that beautiful pass sail very gently, statement-like, into the path of Toru Yajima.
It feels like the second he released it, there was only ever really going to be one outcome.
Although those ones are often seen dropped, Benji.
Oh, you think it's so easy that you don't even need to... Oh, no. Oh, dear.
And I have to say, I'm very excited because there's Milan in front of us holding some pastéis de nata. Pastel de nata, yeah. I tried to say it Portuguese-y, but I failed miserably. And this is one of the reasons we do absolutely adore being in Portugal. The beach is fantastic, but the food here is molto bene.
That's Italian, not Portuguese.
I don't know how to say it in Portuguese. Translations, please.
It's also one of the reasons why you love working with ULTI.TV is that you get brought pastel de nata.
I mean, one of the many, many reasons. If you want to get involved in our coverage, even if you're shy on the microphone and not so good with the camera, you can support us as a patron. But at the moment, it's all about... Hold on. There's a chat on the field. Not sure what Devin Meredith has got in mind.
Maybe they just brought in from the wrong spot on the field, potentially? Oh, Meredith saying that he was expecting the ground check in. There is no ground check under WFTF rules.
Oh, everyone's favourite USA WFTF rules confusion. We started a drinking game at World Clubs back in Limerick. A drinking game of every unnecessary ground tap you took a drink.
I was going to say, when I organise a tournament, I'd make the gratuitous ground check a turnover, except I do that, and it's not a turnover, so I'm a fraud. But it's one of my pet hates.
So that one called back for Leger. It would have been just, of course, a hold. So it's not a huge difference maker in terms of that one being called back and losing a break opportunity, but an action replay. Chevalier powering down that far sideline. Easy slicing through. Going to find a reset. But there's a double cut which clusters and confuses the space. Chevalier now. Punching it through to the front cone. Antoine Rosnet in space. And that is 4-3. The Bears still leading, holding on to that one break they got on the second point of this game.
Yeah, no harm, no foul in the end. Off the the misunderstanding, we'll call it. To say, okay, fair enough. We'll just put it back in and we'll just score again anyway. Why not? You mentioned it was a little bit cluttered in the dump space, but eventually just jinking and jiving his way free of Cho is Chevalier. And then just pivoting out, little backhand into space. Defenders kind of looking at each other like...
I thought that was yours.
Were you not on the break side? Oh, too late now. It doesn't matter. Wasn't it? Catching the score. Jets still a breakdown in this contest.
It is very exciting, though, to see a close matchup. This, of course, all about who will advance into finals and who will have a shot at a gold medal. At the moment, Benji, who's your favourite, if you were a betting man, for seeing in that gold medal match?
I don't know, you know. I feel like I probably need to give each team a little bit more intense scrutiny before I can make my mind up.
Well, we have a look at Alexis Boulot rubbing his arm, having got the run through no-look D block. And Chardet finding Coty. Trying to attack that break side, squeaking one through to Tessereau, who finds a rinsed open Alexis Beaulieu, but perhaps suspiciously open. No, there's no call. Any sort of picks retracted. See Noda there alongside. Actually, I don't think I've got a 54 on my roster sheet for Beers, Benji.
We'll have to do some digging there. I think it's actually, he's looking to get that sneaky inside-out lead pass, but he doesn't get it out early enough, and it just thunders off the back of his receiver. And then here's the score. Sneaks that one down the line. You see Tessolo, he's just sitting in that space. Eventually, thank you very much.
Putting my reading glasses on. It's 51, of course. Kubo How could I forget Kubo?
How could you, Hannah?
I'll just stare at numbers, Benji, nothing else. But Tessero there, getting the assist, finding himself poached off on that break side. No mark anywhere near him to prevent that secondary pass.
It's back on serve in this game that started very high tempo, but maybe not necessarily high in quality at the start. A fair few mistakes from both sides, but they've cleaned it up since then, and it's a very tight, intense affair.
Well, part of the high turnover, that 11 turnover point, Benji, was the fact that the two teams seem to have found the match of each other early stages in this game. It's really intense match defense, lots of hand blocks, lots of run through Ds. Oh, and that is lovely flow up this near sideline. Good holster, just being patient are the Bears. Over the top to Yejima. Was he going to squeak out the break around? Oh, confusion in the back space between Dorf and Kubo. So a real shot here for Leggett. Chevalier to pick up. Has Clayton trying to attack that break space. Chooses him eventually. Threatening the inside back to Chevalier. Deaulnois had a quiet game in the second live stream for Leggett, but a powerful athlete.
Quiet until the very final point when she scored to take the victory.
But a slightly loose one from Kure is going to give the disc away over the top for Yajima in space. Noda turns, has a little sorry moment. Oh, but that is a very nice zesty flick. Finding, of course, the long form of Richard Dorf, and he picks up another stat to add to his tally.
Yeah, Yamamoto on the assist, her first of the game. It's really interesting because Japanese teams we kind of associate with that, you know, the quick disc movement, the low releases. You know, the hucks tend to be flatter to receivers at full pace rather than the kind of the floatier option. But with a player like Dorf, who just is a different body type, you know, tall and lean, it does mean that you can maybe afford to alter your play style a little bit to try and match that.
Well, Rick Dorf, not originally from Japan. Of course, this Bears team has a representation from a number of different nations. But that's what we love about the club scene. It creates those interesting, friendly connections. But Rick Dorf, of course, coming from Ashland. Initially lives now in Groton. And his sporting heroes have both intensity and a pleasant demeanour, Benji. That's Roger Staubach from the NFL, and John, apologies for mincing this name, John Havlicek?
I'd go Havlicek, maybe. Roger Staubach, by the way, the creator of the original Hail Mary pass. When he was playing for the Cowboys, just last play of the game, nothing else to do, lobs it deep to Drew Pearson, who catches maybe with a little bit of offensive pass interference and runs into the end zone. And the whole thing is that, you know, he lobbed it up and said a few Hail Marys because, of course, he was a Catholic. And that became the catch-all phrase for any kind of last desperation deep look.
Well, this part of the world very fond of the old Santa Maria. Many statues, paintings and churches devoted to her in the Iberian Peninsula. Did a bit of culture vulturing ahead of these championships, and I'm sure many of these tourists... Oh! Straight in the bonk! Ow! Oh, Loiseau is not having a great game and throws it directly into the forehead of Alexis Boulot. That's got to hurt.
I mean, you could hear it thunk off the cranium. I must admit, because it's not you, there's a little bit of on the replay. And given that he seems to be okay, it's quite funny.
I did have to mute my button there just to have a little moment. It is, in slow-mo, quite the comedy bonk. But hopefully Alexis Boulot, who's been so good in this game.
It feels like a really innocuous throw. Looking at it, it's like, how on earth did it
How did he not see it coming?
Yes.
That's probably the main thing. Sort of, you know, a really nice position, really wide open on the cut. And I'm not sure Bolo was expecting that dish from Loiseau. But hot, intense defense, just squeaking it out to Dorf. Matched up with Yang Hoti. Takes the disc all the way around the world for a very tight mark. Perhaps a little bit of infractions going on, but not called by the players on the field. Dorf. Options, trying to develop upfield. Going to be squeaking it through. Oh, the turn, and Burn Ezra Levine getting free on that front cone after the defender does such a good job of shutting down his open undercut. And that is half time, according to our lovely scorekeepers. We've got Noah and Louis alongside.
If the goal counts, that is.
If the goal does count. Oh, well, yeah.
Might be a pick.
Well, I thought that was good. It seemed to be signalled, but clearly play still going on. Oh, pick call indeed.
Undo.
So, such efforts to prevent that initial upline pass from the defence of Leggett.
It's a really interesting sort of grip because he holds it out there and he goes to the flick side, but he's still got the disc sort of in that backhand grip.
So I'm not sure how that ended up. Oh, okay, a pick on the throw. So, yeah, okay, so interesting.
I think it must be somewhere downfield that we
So
didn't quite see on the low angle. Did that affect? I'm not so sure, but...
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's rare that I make a call, but that didn't really deserve to come back, Benji.
But gone back, it has.
Oh!
And Dorf skies the pack.
Absolute roof is on fire. Dorf using his height. So half-time did go off during that point, so we'll just double-check with our wonderful scorekeepers. I believe it's +1 to the highest score currently.
Yeah, and with the half-time going off at 25 minutes, that was a couple of points ago, so it is a 6-4 half-time. Yeah, so cap probably went about 6-7 minutes ago, the half-time cap. So we had the 6 half-time point cap, which we've just hit there with Beers. So we'll see them do the old switcheroo. Go at the other end of the pitch. Leggett receiving. Down a break again now to begin the second half.
I'm not sure most of these athletes, Benji, have read the player's handbook that explains the format of these games. But 6-4 is the current score. Bit of chat between Leggett and the volunteer scorekeepers, but I'm pleased to say, Benji, a civil discussion happening in front of us.
Yeah, we had a game yesterday where there were, we'll put less diplomatic discussions about the situation of the half-time cap.
We've got another discussion to our left about that pick call. But from before, as Clayton just had a chat, just saying, confirming the status of this one. But Leggett are coming out on offense, irrespective of whether we're changing for half or just continuing to play this game. Of course, Beers having snuck a break there. Bob Besetero is going to put a big one up. Eyes under it, though. Toru Yajima with the block.
And you can see him just put a bit of air underneath it. But Yajima got a much better read on that early on, saw that this was going to tail away towards the far side, got himself into position and followed it up just to make sure.
So a slightly dialed in.
More room to work with than he realised, but it's no harm in making sure.
Well, often found playing for Philly's man down, but throws immediately into the poach does Richard Dorf. Lihorelek.
Yeah, he's reading Dorf's eyes. Even the fact that Dorf was wearing sunglasses, he still knew what he wanted and made himself big standing in that lane.
Is that the second high block for Leggett? Turning on the blasters. Taking off into the skies, Chevalier. Looks around, stares at Tessero, says, I would like a reset, please give me one. It's found. Gotti opening up on the flick side and a nice big grab high in the sky. Ronan Leroelec rolls that one in and it's a Leget's hold.
Yeah, not the first time we've seen Gotti and Leroelec combine for a score. I think last time it was the other way around, but this time Leroelec's on the receiving end. There's the deep shot earlier that Toru Yajima. Just a nonchalant palm to the floor. Very aggressive inside-out backhand break here. Paulison with the balletic footwork, although you see there actually he does have a little bit more room than he maybe initially anticipated. And then across the field, stretching them laterally, Gotti to Leroelec for the score.
So the rhythm of this game continues. At the moment, it's the Bears large and in charge, up 2 breaks against their opponent, Leget. So it looks like the Bears at the moment are not going to be entering the beer bracket, as it's often lovingly referred to.
Yeah, it might be Jets who are crash landing into that 9-16 window.
But a 16-strong division here at the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships in Portimão. As the sun tries to puncture through the clouds, so too do Bears try to puncture through the defense of Leget. A big one coming out of the paws of Kubo, but it's going to overshoot on the far sideline, just dribbling out of the pitch. Ezra Levine, the intended target.
You can see as he's releasing that, he's leaning back a little bit and he's giving that disc a really blading angle that makes it so difficult to come out. He probably wanted that one a little bit flatter, and yes, while it's good to lead the receiver to that far sideline away from where the defender is, he's got too much of an edge there.
So Leget, opportunity to bring us back on serve. That's going to go a bit too high, but ripped out of the sky by Tuttle. Clayton reaching into the far side of the field. Bolo. Nice to see him back on the field after his big bonk to the face from Loiseau.
You just reminded me. It's good to see him back, but it was funny.
It was funny. Rosne now. Bolo going into the deep space, has time, but the disc is going to hang. Pressure underneath it, but recatches just shy of the goal line. Clayton there just galloping through Coltman for the goal. And they are back on serve. Level peg in, 6 apiece.
That is a break, one of the 2 that Leget needed. Boileau clearly showing no after effects, as this deep look is, we'll call it spicy. Certainly invited pressure underneath it, but rising highest there. Getting it the second, maybe third attempt. Boileau, you see him, he actually tries to use his foot just to provide a little bit more of a slowdown on the disc. And Coltman's there with the follow-up, the backup, to make it 6s.
Yeah, nearly a yoga-style catch there for Alexis Bolo. 2 turnovers to his stat board to equal up. He's, he's level. 1 goal, 1 assist.
Also, cards on the table. I did assess him a turnover for the bonk to the face.
He should have been expecting the disc. He was very, very wide open.
Also, I thought it was funnier.
So we are back to evens. Leget have clawed their way into this game again. Of course, this power pool matchup to decide who will advance into the championship side of the bracket and who will be playing into finals. And we'll bring you some live updates of the other scores happening at this 4-pitch strong division. High stall count, but finds a release in Yamamoto. Squeaking it through to Kubo. The man with the big arm, a big force from Jacques Cochet to try and prevent the huck. Yamamoto is available, but they throw it into the knees towards Jean-Pierre Rab. A little bit less on the throw than was desired, I believe.
I love going for the backhand force there because they've seen what a threat that flick is. And so let's go backhand and make it as difficult as possible for him to get that out.
And a slower throw as well. Going to sit and hang more against the wind as Leggett power down that far sideline. Cochet in the centre. Rips a big backhand break side to Deonois, and it's the first lead Leggett have extended in this game.
Yeah, Cochet's been a usually really solid, reliable option for Jet, but we're not seeing him so much in this game. Was the leading statter coming into this contest with one assist, and 10 goals, and that is only his second assist of the tournament as he punched it into Deonois. As you mentioned, first Jets lead of the game. Trouble brewing at the moment for Beers. You all right with that one?
I do like the little bit of pun action out here on the live stream. So, again, we're seeing, as you say, a bit of trouble starting to seep and ferment in this Beers offense. So they're going to take a timeout to discuss what they need to do in the late stage of this game. But we're going to take a brief pause here in the booth as well. We'll join you with the late stage action on this match after these short messages.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. ULTI.TV. ULTILeague.net.
Right now, he's gonna have to bid. Just a football!
Huge layout block, unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed. Swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
Second half of Power Pool stages. We have Leggett of France versus the Beers of Japan at the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2022. Some dark clouds starting to roll in towards us. We're expecting rain at midday local time, so in about quarter of an hour. But of course, these 45-minute long games having started at 11 a.m. here in Portimão mean that we should hopefully avoid too much of a downpour after yesterday's rather stormy skies. But it's Leggett in front for the first time, 3 on the bounce over the Beers. Dorf has been pivotal for this Japanese side. Dishes to Noda. Squeaking through to Kubo. And again, this backhand force. Oh, but he squeaks out a beautiful flick. It pops up and falls just in front of Toru Yojima for the goal. And Beers with a much needed hold, trailing that one now. But that is much better form.
Again, the Jets desperate to try and take away that flick by going really around on the force there on Kubo. But try as they might, somehow he was able to squeeze it through that Tessero force, sit it over a nice little bit of loft on this and float towards the break side, and Yojima chases it down again. Those two have connected so often, and it's 7 apiece. 4th goal of the game for Yojima, 4th assist for Kubo.
Well, a beautiful connection. You could see that big force of Cesar Tessero trying to prevent Kubo from releasing that beautiful flick.
So the winner of this game goes into the top 8, where they will face Hurt in the quarterfinals, and the loser goes into the bottom 8, where they'll play Mountain Beaches.
Indeed, and we haven't decided which of the quarterfinals we're going to be putting on the stream for your viewing pleasure, but we will bring one from each side of the bracket in terms of one from the championship playoff and one advancing towards Ninals.
The only team we haven't streamed yet is Mountain Beaches.
So it might be them.
It might well be that game. So one of these sides might be going back to back, although Actually, they might not want to be back-to-back on the showcase field because it means they won't be in the top bracket.
Well, you say back-to-back, though, of course, we have a nice long lunch break.
Yes, that is true.
But it's all a hotly contested battle. There's a bit of contact there between Yajima and Koti. Koti calling the foul, I think.
Yeah, we expect the whistle to indicate that the cap is coming on very shortly.
Then we've got some beers, extra handy cam on the sideline action, just recording the fields here on the fields. Say fields, it's not, it's a sand pitch.
The pitch, yep.
One into the paws of Mallet. Turning around frantically, looking for his reset, finds one. Lereolek. Spins it round, low one for Rosne. This is fast-paced ultimate from Leggett, but great stuff downfield. Eventually squeaking one through. It goes over the top, but it goes behind the back of Jeff Curé. Cannot come down with that. A bit too hasty after the patience. Jan Corti throwing it away.
They worked it so nicely for the 99% of the pitch, and it's just that last pass. The turnover happens. By the way, time has just elapsed, so we're going to get a game to 9 regardless.
Bit of end zone ice. But a high shot over the top. Foul call, I think, from Dorf. And it will be accepted by the looks of it from Frédéric Mallet. Oh, no, a little chat between the two. Oh, no, contested. There we go. Oh, that. Okay, so that's the hands signaling both the contest and accept.
There we go. Foul contested.
There we go.
Got there in the end.
The open palms indicating, of course, an accept of the non-contested, accepting of the call. But it coming back and going over the top for Ezra Levine. Dorf, oh, into the space. They're going to have to go up high early, and he does. Trey Paulison reels that in. And it's a nice leader into space, and the layout! Kazuyuki Kobo with the goal. So Kubo showing us that he can do it on both sides. He can throw them and he can lay them out perfectly for the break in the 11th hour. So game to 9, Beers in front.
Yeah, it's that slightly floaty one to Paulison that sets it up, because the deep defender comes charging through to try and get the block, but doesn't get there. And that Kubo to Yajima connection, well, this time we'll flip reverse it, and Yajima finds Kubo with a, I think, how would I want to describe this? Picture perfect layout grab to put Beers back in front. Look at that. Love to see it.
Yes, please. All aboard Kubo Airlines. Although they do have a pilot amongst their ranks. In fact, it's Toru Yajima, the number 1, who is a Japan Airlines pilot. But that's a lot of hang time indeed for the number 51, Kazuyuki Kubo, collecting a goal to add to his tally. Because, of course, those 4 assists to Yajima. So this to keep the dream of the top end alive. Leggett finding Le Rohelec. Rosne dishes across. Lots of space being given on the underneath. Coltman. Just in the paws of Chevalier. Looks to be a force middle, trying to stop them slicing up these sidelines. Oh, but Coltman opens up a beautiful backhand into space for Jacques Cochet. And we are at universe point here in this power pool game, deciding who will advance and who will stay in the bottom pool.
I'm not going to pretend that I hate to say I told you so, because I actually quite enjoy it. But before the game, we did say these two teams, if you look at the previous scores, seemed relatively easily matched. And yes, I know the transitive property doesn't quite apply in Ultimate as you want it to, but on paper it looked like a mouth-watering encounter, and that's what we've got on the field. So we have another timeout before this universe point.
I don't know if it's the pastéis de nata or if it's the game in front of us, but we are salivating here in the booth as I think a timeout's been taken, Benji.
It has indeed.
And if you want to keep this coverage free to view live and on demand, we will do our very best to do so, but you can support us in a number of different ways. You can hit like and subscribe. You can sign yourself up as a patron of Ultimate Art. You can join us, you can become a member at various different levels for the cost of just a coffee or beer perhaps in your local currency. Each month you can support us by going to patreon.com/ULTI.TV, or you can put a super chat or a super sticker in YouTube if that's your type of thing.
Yeah, that supports us directly, and it's thanks to everyone's support that we're able to be here bringing you free live Ultimate and universe point contests such as this at the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships.
So you can give us your money, or you can just hit that like and subscribe buttons. It costs you nothing but a couple of kilojoules of energy.
Always down for both.
¿Por qué no las dos? And a little shot of our wonderful ULTI.TV flags. We've got one flapping in the breeze alongside the flags of nations represented here in this 16-strong division.
Look at that pan there from Chips.
Oh, yeah. And we've got man down appearing on the far sideline, giving us a bit of a Mexican wave.
Yeah, just the general support between the love between the teams, the spirit is has been very high this tournament.
I'm not sure if they're supporting the French or the Japanese or the Americans. Just a lot of noise coming from that far sideline now. Man down clearly finished theirs up in quick fashion, their final pool matchup. So, on the attack, Kubo with disc in hand. We know that flick is so devastating, but it's a backhand shot, squeaking it through to Noda. Back to Kubo. Tiny bit of a loose mark from Leroy Halek. See the little communication, just calming everything down. Yamamoto popping back. Beers calling everybody under, trying to have just one body perhaps in that deep space. Oh, Kubo up the line, plenty of options with no mark, but has to throw the reset to Noda. Around to Kubo, reaching into the space. He just falls to secure the catch. Just making sure on the goal line now. This is for the chance at a gold medal. If they can squeak it in, they do. It's the Bears for the goal and the connection. Yajima with the score. Kubo punching it in. And after taking that first break, with Leggett having to claw their way back into this universe point finish, Benji, that was a really nice, clean and patient hold.
And so much of the game, it felt like, had been about whether Leggett could cut down that big flick from Kubo. And on the universe point, they say, well, we're not going to let you beat us that way. You're just going to have to meticulously dink and dunk your way down the pitch. And the Bears said, you're all right then, why not? That was maybe the diciest moment. He's losing his balance, but keeping his eyes on that pink Euro disc there is Kubo. And just at the front of the end zone, you see him like, come to me, go on, we can do this.
Tesoro trying to get the block there, throwing himself into the sand. Initially saying that it wasn't good, but it called a goal by his teammate who had a good view behind. I have to say, Kazuyuki Kubo, my goodness, 5 of the 9 goals for Beers. He assisted 1, he scored. Player of the match for sure, Benj.
Yeah, it's Kubo or Yajima, the two of them. Just Jets could not shut them down, so the Beers will not be in the beer bracket. We'll see them in the top 8.
Indeed, so shaking out in power pools. The places are now, I think, all decided because this one went right to full regulation time cap. And thank you again to all of our wonderful volunteer scorekeepers for putting together these results, making sure that things are updated ASAP. So it will be potentially another view of Leggett, a further live stream game for them if we choose to see them against of course, the wonderful Swiss team we've not had on the stream yet, Mountain Beaches, who I believe have come out at the bottom of Pool G.
Yeah, we'll have a look at which quarterfinal matchups we're streaming at the top and the bottom. And we'll update the YouTube live links accordingly. You can also find that on the live schedule page on the website,
www.WGGBMUCC.org.
It is indeed. You can find everything there. I think it's time for a little bit of a lunch break. I might even go in the sea.
Oh, big scenes. Well,
I'm not going to go in the sea, but
you are wearing jeans, to be fair, Benji. I mean, it's salt water plus denim is not the most comfortable thing in the world. But we're going to see the highlights from this game. There's a bit of yachting action, a bit of colour for you, just to give you the sense of this wonderful marina town. It was a fantastic matchup between Les Jets and Les Beers. We did not know exactly who would surmount the victory here, to such closely matched sides, but huge redemptions. I tell you what, the wingspan that Richard Dorf was able to open up for Beers was devastating in the early stages of this game, Benji.
yeah, he clearly changes the way that their offense can operate at times with that length and that reach. I think a really good back and forth contest, very enjoyable. Let's just see if they can take that into the next round.
Well, we know they have a pilot amongst their ranks, but I think probably an advantage here was the fact that Beers seemed to dominate the skies. Their long puts really opened up the space for their team, and it's really taking advantage of this lower wind conditions out here in this third day of this wonderful World Championships. A couple of great puts out of the palms of Les Jets as well. Many more of them, though, hanging up and allowing the defense to make plays. Huge redemption there from Jan Corti. If you had to have a player for Les Jets of the match, Benji, who would you pick?
That is a very good question. It feels like Ronan Lohorek was really he was assisting, he was scoring, got a couple of blocks as well in the lane. I think he was a big reason of why Jets got quite so close, even if they just couldn't quite sneak it out at the end.
Well, we could not have asked for more from that game. Couple of moments of lack of focus, perhaps another, but look at this bonk straight in the head for Alexis Bolo.
Yeah, that must hurt, but you know.
Alexis Ball, oh dear. But at the end of the day, it was a close one. Congratulations to Beers. Owned the skies and put some huge breaks out into space. Another look at that beautiful piece of toe work from Trey Paulison. First time we've really said much of his name, but smiles all round. Christoph Dernhardt there coming towards, giving our camera a little bit of love.
Yeah, good spirit throughout. There were a couple of bumps and miscommunications, but everything played with smiles on faces all round.
Indeed. So we're going to close up the final action there with Kubo. Huge laying out and a little plane celebration. But that's going to be it for the morning slot of games. Join us again at 3:30 local time here in Portimão. Set your clocks. Do not miss that one. We're going to be seeing quarter-finals action first from the bottom bracket. Those teams advancing towards Ninals, and then indeed the championships. Looking at those medal places, I've been Hannah Pendlebury for Benji Rees for all of our hard-working, tireless ULTI.TV crew. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you this afternoon for more action here in Portimão.
Right now, he's going to have to bid. Just a football.
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed. Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Steer.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. ULTI.TV. ULTILeague.net.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Don't want to miss anything?
There are loads of tournaments happening, which you can attend either as a player or a spectator. You can find them on ULTI.TV, link in the description.
ULTI.TV, BUCC lyrical.
Merci beaucoup.
ULTI.TV.